Hi guys, welcome to Dump the Junk Part 2. I am so happy you're here with me. I want to know on our sisterhood site, how did you do on week 1? If you're here on week 2, I just want to make sure that you know that if you have been only 2 days or 3 days on Dump the Junk week 1, it is okay. What I love about this program is it's all about you listening to your own body, mind, and spirit. And that is part of the Beel Revolution, is really trusting your gut, trusting that instinct within you. So if you only made it a couple days and you're like, I can't take it anymore, I need to move to week 2, please do. Or if you've made it to 5 days and you've decided, you know what, I really want to do really let my body rest with food, and you want to do the lemon mixture that I had talked about for a couple of days or 1 day, I want to invite you to do that. This is all about listening to you and remembering Dump the Junk is all about like I said, it's kind of like the elimination diet, where we're kind of getting back to birth. When you were started to be introduced foods, it was done slowly. There were certain foods to see if you had any allergies or any discomfort or discourse with your body. And so again, that's kind of what we're doing. I'm not trying to keep you from food or trying to say, no, you can't have that, or you have to follow it exactly to the hour, to the day. That is not what we're about. We are about reintroducing you to what sometimes food that you might not know that causes you harm or doesn't feel good, and foods that do. Because really what we're trying to do is, in healing your body, we are connecting you with your spirit self and with your emotional self, and allow all 3 parts of your body to become one. And when all of our parts of our bodies decide to become one, do we become that whole person, and our life and our body just changes forever. So it's amazing. It's still amazing to me. So Dump the Junk week 2, wherever you are at, is we're introducing, so I hope that you have printed out your grocery list. You also have your journal. So it's a same journal as you had before, and you're just going to continue doing your journal. And again, if you don't get to everything, that's okay. This is for you to work on you. And so some people don't feel ready for one part, but they feel ready for another part, and that's okay. Remembering it's your journey, and you can always come back and revisit something. So, as long as you're a member, and you have this stuff, anything that's the printouts you have for life. So anyway, that's a super cool part. So your grocery list is your cauliflower, your mushrooms, your onions, your parsnips, your turnips, your beets, radishes, red pepper, yellow pepper. It's all right here in your some squashes. It's all here in your on your sheet. And then you have your healthy fats, avocados, and I know I put this in our sisterhood site, but I want to make sure that you recognize that really you only want 1 avocado per day. It is a fruit, and so you don't want to overdo avocados. So just making sure that you just have 1 avocado per day, or like a half of homemade guacamole. Right, because it's 1 avocado. Anyway, and then you've got your olive oils, your coconut oils, and local butter if you need to. I don't necessarily favor that, but I mean, that's sometimes that people really love. So some extras this week is your olive oil base. So you'll see olive based mayo. And there's a reason for that, because a lot of oils can actually cause hormone disruptors within the body. So having the olive oil is really the best for mayonnaise. And if you make your own mayonnaise, that's even better. And the other one is your avocado-based mayo. So kimchi, if you don't know what that is, definitely Google it. It's one of our fermented sauerkraut and mustard. As always, keep with last week's grocery list, which is your vinegars, your kombucha, all of that. So you're just adding to your extra list. And that is for this week. I can tell you from my personal experience that a few days ago, I was like, because I'm still nursing my daughter, I was like, oh my gosh, I really need some protein. So something that might help you through the process, and I was like, oh, I need to mention this at Dump the Junk part 2, is give your body a couple of hours before you really decide that you really need to do this for your body. Because remember, we sometimes as women, depending on where we are in our cycle, right? Because we're not linear, we're cyclical. There might be some times or some stressors, especially around the holidays, that we might be craving a certain food or really needing a certain food because of emotional or situational event. So I will actually also be teaching this. You'll probably see this in a master class, but I wanted to go over this now. The difference between emotional eating and when you're actually hungry. And sometimes when you're emotionally needing food, if you just wait a little while, you'll realize that your body doesn't really need it. If you wait a little while and you're like, no, my instinct is I really need this, then that is most likely very physical, especially where you've gone through either some people a full week or even 3 or 4 days of Dump the Junk part 1. So emotional eating or emotionally needing some foods are something that you're like, I need it right this second. Or, oh, I'm not feeling very good, I need to eat right now. Those are all really clear indications that that's more of an emotional eating. And I know a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of clients that have said, I have hyperglycemia, which some very well could. But some we have found that hyperglycemic feeling is actually more towards emotion than it is towards food. So, for instance, a lot of times when people are under a lot of stress and they're not feeling well, they really want that fat and that sugar together. My fat and sugar craving that I feel like I need to have if I'm feeling nauseous or sick or something's not right is a jelly donut. It's usually a pretty good indication that it's emotional and I am able to wait and I'm fine. So that's another good example. A lot of that sweet cravings is usually lack of protein. So I noticed that not only was I having a lot of sweet issues, but I was having a lot of effects in my milk, and Sophia was letting me know I wasn't getting enough protein. So I actually increased my spinach and was able to get the protein that I actually needed. And yes, your green leafy vegetables have tons and tons of protein in them. So so that's with that. And so this this need, this quick response to eat, like I said, is usually not an actual physical hunger. A physical hunger happens where it's not just a growl, because sometimes growling can happen when in your stomach when you're emotionally hungry too. That always is what tripped me up going through the course of my life. But really this kind of pain, this emptiness in your stomach is really a good indication that you're hungry. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm starving, then one, I especially where you're eating nothing but vegetables, I definitely invite you just to eat and see how you feel. If you're emotionally eating, then as you're eating, you're going to notice that, oh, I feel satisfied or I feel okay, but I need to keep eating to feel full. That's a good indication that you're actually emotionally eating versus it's a physical hunger. When you're physically in that hunger stage, then you will get that pain, you'll eat, and you'll be like, okay, I feel satisfied, I want to continue what I'm doing. So it's I don't have the need to feel full. And so that's the two. If you would like me to go a little bit deeper into emotional eating versus sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Emotional eating versus physical hunger. Make sure you ask me that question at our Sisterhood Facebook page, and I will answer any questions that you might have. If you have any questions about Dump the Junk Week 2, I would also love to answer any questions. And please show me pictures of how you're doing on Week 2. I also want to know, how are you moving your body this week in a healthy way? Have you been moving your body? Have you been walking out in nature? Have you taken a crazy, fun, awesome class? What have you been doing? So I would like to hear and love to hear all of that also. So have a blast this week getting to know yourself. And really, I invite you. I do the Monday through Friday little bleeps, little inspirations, and ask you to share. I would love to actually hear from you. I really enjoy that. So I'm really looking forward to see how everybody's progress is for week 2 and seeing how you feel. And I will see you on week 3. I love you all, and be well.